making sure your message gets out. I mean, you're in a caprice. You have less members. There's less members in the House. We have a federal government that's been taken over by the Republicans. How are you guys going to ensure that your voices are heard and these priorities get?
I think we stay down the same road that we've been going down, and that's making sure that we bring people's voices to the State House, making sure that we bring common sense legislation that, again, even if it's not sponsored by our members, at the end of the day, we make an impact. The charter school legislation was a good example. Infant mortality was a good example. There's a lot of issues that we've dealt with regarding blight and fixing up communities in the past with land bank legislation. Like, I'm just trying to think of a lot of the pieces that we've worked on that we've really put a lot of good work in that came from members of our communities and from other communities that at the end of the day might not reflect our work, but you make a difference and you just keep pounding those issues that are important to people until they become amendments to their bills or they're passed in a co-sponsored way.
And we don't have an attitude that we can't get anything done.
Right.
The reality is, if you have that mindset, you won't get anything done. We believe we have and we will continue to address the needs of the residents in the state of Ohio. We will continue to make advancements in the state of Ohio and accomplish the goals for the people that we serve.
You talked about the tax cuts. What about the overall picture of tax reform? The governor is again going to propose income tax cuts as part of a broader picture. Where do you think taxes should be increased?
It's just shifting. I mean, he's just going to tax shift. I think that if we are going to make some meaningful investments, then you don't give another tax cut this year. If they come down with the tax cut again, and then scraps to all the places where we need to have meaningful investment, we're just going down the road even further that we've been going down for years and years under Governor Kasich. And so I think that we should prioritize the things that are important first to people, rather than putting a few dollars in their pocket and having them hit 10 different ways with sales tax increases and local levies. And if we go that route, this caucus will not be in favor of that.
And I think the resistance from the people will be loud too, because we're shifting their taxes as well. Some pay little to none, businesses as well as individuals, and then the rest of us are picking up their share of taxes. So talking about fairness, that's not very fair to the taxpayer, and it's not fair to the other businesses that don't receive the abatements, don't receive the tax cuts.
And this is Senator Thomas. Also, let me remind, when those folks marched this past weekend, over 10,000 marched here in Cincinnati. These folks were from all political persuasions. It was not just Democrats. It was Republicans. It was liberals. Everybody. They have the governor, as well as the president of the United States, the elected president, has galvanized people to stand together on common ground. And I do believe that even in the Senate, there are members of the Senate where we can find that common ground and begin to address some of these issues that the people marched for and spoke loudly about. There was talk of tax shift. Down here in my own area, there are a lot of concerns about shifting the burden to the point where the tax request, by putting a tax initiative on the ballot, is just so high, the numbers, the cost will be so high to the taxpayer that they just cannot get these issues through.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Thomas.
So making it very difficult.
Is there any other